Within maybe the first 15 minutes of trying out a prompt, we were both really amazed by what was happening and what we were seeing, and we knew that this was moving, and it was moving quickly.
AI has really hit educators off guard, I think, and so approaching educators in professional development with empathy, with understanding. We did meet and had discussions around what does this mean for education? What does this mean for Waterloo Catholic? We approached it with we're not going to ban things because it's just a whack-a-mole, right? We know there are so many AI tools out there. We were going to instead provide guidance on how to use those approved safe tools, such as Microsoft Copilot.
The conversations were so different depending on who we were talking to. So if we were talking to administrators, it focused a lot around efficiency. If we were talking to educators, it focused a lot around assessment. But then when we started to talk to students, they were really concerned about what does this mean for their future. That was really where we came into the spot of starting our podcast. So Deep Learning Dialogues is our podcast that we have really focused and centered around AI in education because of all of these voices.
While there was lots of great curiosity, we were hearing lots of use cases. You know, people would come to us and they would be so excited about a certain way they were using it. But we knew, just because of our roles, that many of those use cases actually put student information, privacy, safety, security at risk, and we knew that was a top priority for us.
We talk often in education about we're preparing students for jobs that don't exist. And what exactly does that look like? It looks like human skills. How are they critical thinkers? How are they problem solvers? Through programs like Microsoft Elevate for Educators, we are able to support our educators in their training to make sure that tools like Copilot are very intentional. We knew that exploration is so important, but training needed to happen to make sure that we kept everybody safe.
Part of the training that was really important to us was not just rolling out a prepackaged wrapper tool. We really wanted to teach educators how can they effectively prompt to get whatever they need.
It was all about pedagogy first, tools second.
Tools second.
My name is Steve Bryson. I'm a high school science teacher at the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. I would describe my approach to teaching as it's very student-centered. I think it's incredibly important for our students to discover the information for themselves. You know, I love when they get that aha moment. I think some of the biggest challenges I'm trying to solve as a teacher is understanding that my students need to be engaged in this really high-tech world. You know, they have more information available to them in their pockets than I could ever impart in them in 10 lifetimes, you know? So how do we keep them engaged, keep them excited about teaching, keep them excited about the classroom? When AI began to be part of the conversation, I would say honestly, like a lot of teachers, I was very concerned. You know, I didn't know really what the possibilities were. However, once I began to realize the power that what made me curious is how AI can actually be used to amplify good teaching. Using AI on a consistent basis has really changed how I work day to day because it's given me more time to do what's important. You know, I don't have to spend as much time doing lesson planning, finding materials, prototyping. I get the opportunity to interact with the kids more. I think that as educators, it can be incredibly difficult because you have all these kids with different needs within your class and coming in at different spots. So being able to quickly change your lessons to support them and the needs that they particularly have can be incredibly valuable.
I love watching educators transform lessons to make them into hands-on experiential learning. Sometimes it just takes one little prompt to make the classroom an exciting place for the students.